people have a voice, and that they need to share their voice. They need to share what's going on with them. That's the only way that we can really have true growth. Some of you have seen us in more of a social setting, do more of the roundtable settings in the privacy of the home, because it's a more intimate environment. Well, reason number one, I had folks messing up my carpet. Right? I don't need to do all that. And then two, it grew to the point of where, you know what, more people realize, you know what, this is something that's great. I really need to be a part of this, and it's never a bad moment, it's never a dull moment. No one is ever judged, because we cannot look at you in a different manner for something that you've gone through to teach somebody else. So what we do is we actually live vicariously through you, online, on the phone, because somebody out there has done something or gone through something that can teach us a situation. Tonight's topic, if you've got the flyer or you've got the information for your Facebook, is the problem with men is. That's going to be the key sentence that's going to spark all of our conversations tonight. So don't feel embarrassed, don't feel ashamed, don't feel as if you're going to be judged, because this topic is open for everybody, and you will get your chance to speak. So feel free to enjoy the food, get full, have a little drink if need be, because we're going to talk tonight. Not only are we going to talk, but we're going to actually hear from a very enlightening, a very consummate man who has spoken word that some of you may know, but once you hear this gentleman speak, you're going to be enlightened and entertained just as much as we have been, just to be in his presence. And that's what my shit. So if I can just give him just a small But I wanted to really focus in on when a lot of people may not want to chime in early. This is a topic that has been dear to me, especially to have women focus in on a topic like the problem with men is. Because there could be some key things that women see that men may not get to address or get to talk about. So with some strong men in here, I've already sensed the presence that there's some strong men in here who have some good opinions that are going to be able to chime in and talk about that as well. So we're going to actually get started on that, but first I want to share what I feel is really the problem with most men, and actually the problem with most women as people, because we don't look inside of who we are to really see what we're supposed to be. Everything starts with the core. When you were younger, there was something inside of you that was embedded for you to know exactly who you are, who you were created to be. And along the way through life, you lose that. Because your imagination is actually greater than anybody else can dream of. When you were young and you told somebody, what you wanted to be when you grew up, it was hard for somebody in here to actually tell somebody, because you dreamed bigger than anybody had ever seen. So you got to the point where I don't want to really tell them that I want to be a king, or I want to be a princess, or I want to own my own land, or I want to have this, because it was so far-fetched that nobody would actually believe it. But he put that inside you for you to know who you are. Before you even born, before you even created, the thought was about you. And he created you. I'm talking about God the Almighty. He created you to do what you were called to do. And a lot of people get lost in their own self because they don't know who they were designed to be. They don't see themselves for who God called them to be. Because along the way, your self-esteem was shattered. In other words, as an adolescent, you grow up, and between the ages of 1 and 8 years old, all the information that you're given is going to supersede anything that you may learn throughout the rest of your life, because you're developing who you are. It's already planted in your career. So along the lines, you forget about what you said you were, and you listen to everybody else. So the problem with men is you forget who you were told that you were supposed to be. You forget yourself, and you let everybody else define what you're supposed to do. If you went up and you said, I want to be a race car driver, and somebody laughed at that, well, you took a step back and said, you know what, I'm really like race cars. That really might not be who I'm supposed to be. I may need to just be the janitor at the local school, or I really just may need to be just the third grade teacher who never really gives back to her student. I'm just here for a paycheck. Because you lose yourself, you let everybody else define you, and it's not healthy. You spend time in relationships searching for men, ladies, that you can't really figure out what's wrong with this guy, what's wrong with me, until you have that bad experience that really breaks you down and says, well, if I can just get me together, I'll be all right. Well, that's what you should have done in the beginning, is find out who you are. So you know what you're supposed to accept and what you're not supposed to accept. From the male perspective, you need to know what a woman is, because the word woman has actually been taken out of our vocabulary in society. My boo, my babe, my, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's taken out. Mom, my mom Dukes, my T. Jones, that's there, but not mother, not woman, not lady. Because if you forget what that is, because that's what it was told to you when you were younger, it erases from your memory, and you just don't create that thing in your livelihood now. So I want you all to take just an opportunity to think about